Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. Not Friday. That's a little too excessive. But it's another Friday episode of Quick Hits. And I'm thankful and I'm looking forward to this weekend because last week I was a little hard on the 8 to 5 folk that they were going in to the weekend and they didn't have to work and I did. Well, this time around the rotation is sweet to me because I am off this weekend from Friday, Saturday to Sunday. And I will be able to catch the sports live this time. I'll be able to do the shows the way I want to do them. So, of course, I get to catch everything, the football, the basketball, the baseball. I get to watch all of that, and I'm looking forward to it this weekend, and I'm looking forward to a Friday show for you. Now, this Friday show is going to be a little different. I'm going to be looking at the World Series picture because I got a treat for you with the World Series. And also, we're going to go ahead and tell you, you know what Friday is for? Friday is for football. So we're going to be talking a lot of football. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Get you another cup of coffee with me, Podcast Smitty. Let's go ahead and get to this theme music.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn. Thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly.
Welcome to your Friday episode of Quick Hits. I am your host, Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty. So, I want to say thank you to everybody for watching the Tuesday show where we broke down the NHL, the WNBA finals, and you got a wonderful treat for the baseball. You got a wonderful treat, a little history lesson, a little trip down memory lane from my good friend Jason Colenso, who closed the show down. He was my first guest on Quick Hits. I am so thankful to have him involved, have you involved. I appreciate you guys hearing me mouth off and jaw on about sports. I appreciate every last one of y'all. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your support of Boom Broadcasting. Support these great men as they're doing great things in the podcast world. Boom Broadcasting is getting ready to go further. We're going to be launching some more content. My guys are going to be working overtime. My man MD, he took a little bit of a rest. The man is running the place, so of course he can take a rest if he wants to. That's why he's the prez. So yes. And yes, I'm sucking up because the Cowboys and the 49ers are going to be taking on each other. And I'm going to be talking about that in the football section of Quick Hits. So guys and girls, it is Friday and we're going to go ahead and break down this baseball, this World Series that is going to be historic and it's going to be groundbreaking. And then another week of football in college and in the pros. So guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and get ready to talk about this. Let's talk that talk, everybody. Let's start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're now in the court of law, the Quick Hits court of law. I'm the Honorable Judge, Podcast Smitty, and the only order in this court is pizza. Pepperoni and jalapeno, please. Now, this segment is called Pleading the Case. In this segment, a case is presented, both sides are argued, and the judge, me, rules in favor of one side. The case: who will win this year's World Series, the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers? The stars are out in this series. A lot of history is in this matchup. This is the matchup that the league wanted all along. Now, I have a representative from both sides, for the Yankees and for the Dodgers, here to plead their case on why their team will win the World Series. We will start with the AL champion, New York Yankees. The Yankees are coming off of a decisive win in the ALCS against the Cleveland Guardians, 4-1. The Yankees have arguably the best baseball player in the world in Aaron Judge, and made one of the best offseason moves acquiring outfielder Juan Soto from the San Diego Padres. Here to plead the case on why the Yankees will win the World Series is the host of the Nightcap here on Boom Broadcasting and a die-hard Yankee fan. Here to talk about his New York Yankees and their possibility to win, here is Mouthing Off with Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am mouthing off with Mike, and I am the resident New York Yankee fan here at Boom Broadcasting. So when Podcast Smitty gave me a call and said, Mike, I need you to plead your case. I said, Shannon, what case am I pleading? He said, you need to plead your case as to why the New York Yankees deserve to win the 2024 World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Forget about it. This was an easy task to accomplish here on Quick Hits for your Friday sports fix. Listen, let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a few stories. Let me paint you a picture. There is a 11-year-old mouthing off with Mike wearing this very Derek Jeter jersey on an October back in 2009. Watching as his New York Yankees won the first World Series of his cognizant memory, to much elation, jubilation, with the team of Hideki Matsui, Derek Jeter, the captain, Alex Rodriguez, Johnny Damon, Nick Swisher, Mark Teixeira, Mariano Rivera, A.J. Burnett. The list goes on and on and on. Jorge Posada, Mike Mussina. I could go, keep going. You want me to keep going? I don't have enough time to keep going. But I'm here to tell you, after 15 years almost, the New York Yankees will take on those LA Dodgers, or I should say, the Los Angeles Shohei Ohtanis, because that's all the media wants to talk about. Shohei Ohtani this, Shohei Ohtani that. The media has already told you who they want to win the World Series. So Mouthing Off with Mike is here to tell you that the New York Yankees are going to win the 2024 World Series because they are the team that has the most heart. They are a true team to the word, to the definition. This is a team that fights for one another, and this is a team that I believe has went through hell and back, being cheated in 2017. Can't cry over spilt milk. What's in the past is in the past. We can only deal with the present, and the present is that the Yankees are in their first World Series since 2009. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the New York Yankees are going to win the World Series.
Thank you, Mike. Now to the NL champion, Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are coming off a 4-2 win in the NLCS against the New York Mets, led by their first ever 50-50 baseball player in Shohei Ohtani, and an argument of who is the best baseball player in the world. Shohei Ohtani has to be within the top two in that category. Here to plead the case on why the Los Angeles Dodgers will win the World Series is the host of the first and only baseball-centric podcast here on Boom Broadcasting, and arguably one of the biggest Los Angeles Dodger fans around, the Duke, Chris DeLuca.
Hey, I'm happy to be on Quick Hits. Surprised to see me here. It's World Series Day. It is Game 1 today. I am once again so over the moon that my Dodgers are in the World Series. I didn't expect it to happen. But that being said, thanks, Shannon, for letting me be on here. And we're going to go jump into this because I do not waste y'all's time. That is my thing. So we're going to start by comparing two of the best players on each individual team. So obviously, there's the more than likely MVPs, Ohtani versus Judge, and Judge actually leads in WAR in the regular season with a 10.8 versus a 9.2, and in home runs with 58 to 54. Again, this is regular season. Ohtani has been dominating with runners in scoring position in the postseason. Well, Judge really has. Judge has really struggled overall, I would say. I mean, he was only in the ALCS, I think, that he had a home run for the first time. So per Jeff Passan, Ohtani has been batting incredible, not slugging, batting incredible 818 in his last 22 at-bats with runners in scoring position. That is just, boom, mind-blowing. He also has a .55 win probability added. Judge has a negative win probability added in 13 Ks, which isn't a lot, but still, you got to really control the strikeouts in the postseason. Additionally, he's batting under 200 in the postseason. He's not bad. I'm not saying that he's bad, but they really need him to step up even more than he already has to pull this off. So with that being said, Betts versus Soto, probably the second best player on each team. That's, again, I wouldn't say if the Yankees, it's debatable. And the Dodgers, it's it kind of really varies on where they are in relative to the season, health, etc. With that being said, a regular season didn't shock me. Soto mostly dominates in everything, leading in WAR at a 7.9 versus a 4.8 of Mookie Betts. 41 home runs, 19 home runs. Mookie Betts really has struggled with power recently, though. Anyway, and 109 RBIs, 75 RBIs. But again, this is regular season. Betts did lead in stolen bases, which kind of didn't shock me. That was one tool that Soto, it's kind of a lost tool, if we're being honest with ourselves, the speed in general. That's one tool that Soto, I was kind of surprised when he got to the major leagues, how he started really well with stolen bases and then kind of took a step back. But that being said, what matters is the postseason, because that's where we are. We're in the World Series. So Mookie Betts had a wonderful NLCS, batting .346, hitting 2 home runs. He also had two, I think, in the DS as well, if I recall correctly. I don't have that in my notes in front of me. And he walked 5 times, which isn't really a lot, but every walk is critical. And he drew a critical walk in game 7 of the NLCS. And like I said, getting on base is all that matters. It's about the small ball in the postseason. He got his postseason talent back from his days in Boston. It finally carried over because he really struggled in the postseason with the Dodgers, for being honest, especially last year. Soto was fantastic in the ALCS, almost adding a whole win probability point. I think it's point percentage. I don't know. Batting a .368, slugging a incredible 895, and much better than Betts. So like I said, I'm not saying either of them are bad. This is a very close matchup, but that's why we're breaking this down. I'd say it's roughly even, to be honest with you, when it comes to the lineups. There are some guys who have been struggling. There are some guys who have stepped up. Jazz Chisholm Jr. has kind of been hot and cold, but he's been hot and cold the entire year. Will Smith has been kind of hot and cold. Kike Hernandez of the Dodgers has had an amazing postseason because he just says, you know what, I'm going to go step up in October. I think that's a great idea. But yeah, so like I said, the lineups are roughly even, we will say. The Dodger bullpen has been much better than those of the postseason past. Those, the ghost of the Dodger bullpen in the postseason, bringing in Clayton Kershaw in the 2019 NLDS, which is still a mind scratcher by Dave Roberts. But hindsight's 2019. So with that being said, guys have stepped up. Guys like Michael Kopech, Ben Kasparis, Landon Knack, Daniel Hudson, Anthony Bonda, and even incredibly 2024 inconsistent Evan Phillips has been very good. I want to say critical game 5 and 6 in the NLDS against the Padres. We're going to have a lot of bullpen games in the World Series, but I feel all right. I'm sleeping like a baby thinking about that. I'm really excited for that. I think I'm not really worried about that, but who knows? It could, fire back right in my face. But the starters, have been banged up. Yamamoto and Flaherty did not have a great start, to say the least, especially in game 1 and 2 of the DS, but have stepped up recently because they're essentially our only 2 healthy starters, with Clayton Kershaw not returning to in the postseason. He re-aggravated the injury. I think we've talked about this on Dugout Debrief, something in the past we have on Out of Pocket or something of that capacity. But Yankees starting has not been wonderful either, despite the fact that they're basically completely healthy. Nestor Cortez has struggled. Obviously, Garrett Cole has continued just to be amazing, be a Garrett Cole, do Garrett Cole things. Luis Gil has kind of been on and off, but they have a respectable size rotation. But I just have to say that their bullpen just does not match with the Dodgers in the postseason, at least. And they kind of struggled in the regular season. They kind of just have to throw. I mean, the bullpen, you have to throw everyone out there. I mean, we're just for example, I'm going to pull up just a couple other names of the Yankee bullpen right in front of me right now. And just kind of talk about them. We have the obvious Clay Holmes, who has really struggled in the postseason. Tommy Canal, I think Caleb Ferguson's on the playoff roster, but like Clay Holmes, just using him as an example, he had an incredible last year, by the way, but the postseason he has not been terrific with a 10.13 ERA. He's given up 3 runs in 2.2 innings, and he blew a save. Yes, he's blown a save. And I've kind of sensed the confidence not being the highest in him. And you really need a closer. And I'm not going to say Evan Phillips is incredible. We're not really seeing the battle of Mariano Rivera versus Trevor Hoffman, to say the least. But what are you going to do? So with that being said, I'm going to continue to just chug on here. We have to look next at the teams that they played. The Yankees played a very surprising, very incredible, but one-dimensional KC Royals team. So I'm not ever discounting the Royals. That's Aaron's team. We love him, and I'm very happy for them and hoping that they have a great offseason, and we're going to be covering them in Dugout Debrief this offseason. So one-dimensional-ish Royals team, but a very good Royals team, and a very feisty, but also not really one-dimensional. I would say that their bullpen was amazing. Their starting pitching did what it needed to do, and their lineup was really good with contact, but just could not get the power. That's a big reason that Detroit took them to the ropes, because I thought Cleveland was going to push through that pretty easily. You really got to look at that. Cleveland's bats really did struggle with power, but despite that, they still had a relatively close series. I think it was closer than a lot of people expect. I would say it was closer than it looks on paper, because Cleveland stayed in it as much as they could. And even if it's like a 63 kind of game here, I still think it's closer, because it's just Juan Soto hits a home run. Austin Wells hit a home run, I think, to get like a 3-run shot, and there are 2, something like that. So, and the Dodgers played an incredible Padres team, and I was mad. I was really mad when we had to play them. I didn't understand why we wanted the 1 seed, but, worked out for us, because the 2 seed is not here. They're not dancing, and we still are, and that's all that matters, ladies and gentlemen, at least for me, but not for everybody else. And that's the thing. The Padres are a great team. Do I like their fan base? Absolutely not. Do I like some of their players? Well, don't really like Tatis very much, but, there's some other guys I like Cronenworth. But anyway, I picked the Padres to win. I thought they're the stronger team, and we did it. We did it with 2 healthy starters, and they did it with a 4-man rotation, 4-man healthy, 5-man healthy. Then we beat a one-dimensional but respectable Mets team. Just being honest with you, they're very top-heavy. The pitching kind of struggled, but I'm going to say that the Guardians were better than the Mets. I will definitely say that. The Mets deserve to be there. They had some great wins. They beat a very good Milwaukee team to get there. They beat a very good Philadelphia Phillies team to get there. That just completely flopped. And I will never discount anybody's run in the postseason, because it's not a thing that you do. And with that being said, it's both teams are respectable. This is a side note. Both teams are respectable, and it's wild to me that people are saying, "Oh, I just want both teams to lose." Whatever. Okay, so don't watch it. There's Thursday night football. There's Monday night football. There's whatever. There's football on. NBA just started up. You got the NHL starting up too. They just did that Frozen Frenzy, which was amazing to watch. By the way, I loved it, but I don't care if you're sitting here and you be a downer about it. Then don't watch it. Not going to hurt my feelings. Not going to hurt Yankees fan feelings. We're just kind of sitting there and we're both like, heck if we care. Don't watch it. But with that being said, who do I give it to? Who do I give it to? This is the big question. Who am I going to give it to? I'm not saying this out of biases. I'm just saying this out of who has the critical parts of their team hot at the right time. I'm giving it to the Dodgers in 7 games. That's where I'm giving it to. Because that bullpen, we're going to have to be doing probably 2 bullpen games, if not 3, in the playoffs. So all of that depends on guys like Landon Knack and Michael Kopech being able to do previously asked for in a shorter 5-game series, 1 inning, 1.5, to probably 2 or 3. And that's nerve-wracking, but I think they can do it because if you're going and you're getting these guys get 2-3 games, that's a large percentage of the game. And that's very important. So if we can do that and then we can rest guys, we need Flaherty. We need Yamamoto to go a long time. It is all about the pitching. I don't see New York's bullpen being able to sustain that because Garrett Cole is going to dominate in game 1. I'm giving game 1 to New York. Tonight, I'm giving it to New York. Garrett Cole is going to dominate. And I think Flaherty will be okay at least. He had a very good last 2 games. But I'm still going to give game 1 to the Yankees. And I'm going to give them that quick advantage. But with that being said, I'm kind of really out of stuff to say. Guys have been clutch. Key components of the team have been clutch. The Yankees' bats are great, but the middle dominates everything. And so does the middle of the Dodger lineup. There's not really much of a difference in that sense. I think they're kind of even there. I do think that the Yankees have the advantage in the starting pitching, but the bullpen of the Dodgers very much outmatches the bullpen of the Yankees. Jason's team, by the way, make sure to tune into Sideline Savants, Tim and Wayne. Great program, great group of guys. Make sure to tune in to everybody's show. With that being said, Shannon, I want to thank you for having me on, man. And enjoy the World Series. Enjoy Sunday football. Enjoy everything. See y'all later. Let's go Dodgers.
Thank you, Duke. Thank you, Mouthing Off with Mike, for your insight. Now, I've retired to my chamber. I've mulled over the evidence. I have thought over everything that has been presented by both men, and I've made my decision. Now, I do believe that this series will go 7 games. I don't see a sweep. I don't see any team being overmatched more than the other. I see in certain aspects where the Dodgers are tough. The starting pitching belongs to the Yankees. The middle relief is pivotal in these games, and that is something that the Dodgers do possess. The Yankees hit about as favorably as the Los Angeles Dodgers. Big bats will be coming in this game. A good bit of offense will be shown in this game. But when it comes down to teams having the upper hand, one thing about the Dodgers that I fear is that the Dodgers have went down to the wire in certain times where they shouldn't have to. I think the Dodgers may have trouble putting games away. The Yankees have been very decisive in their playoff games. They were very decisive against a squad like the Cleveland Guardians. The Dodgers had a little trouble with their rivals, the San Diego Padres, which is typical considering that rivals will see each other in the playoffs. And it'll be difficult to get over your rival in a 5 or 7 game series. This series has history written all over it. And I don't see this game or this series being one-sided But that being said, the Yankees have knocked on the door. They've been knocking on the door. 5 ALCSs that they have lost, not seeing a World Series since '09. The Dodgers have had their troubles in the World Series, have had their troubles in the championship games. They came away with the championship in 2020. That was the last time that they've won a championship. The Dodgers have had opportunities to do so, but have not closed the door. So this is going to be a series of who can finish, who can close the deal. And I think the team that'll close the deal in this World Series will be the New York Yankees. I think they'll win it in 7 games, raise another rafter in the Bronx, give it to the New York Yankees. It's been a big sports year for New York City, and I think it will continue with the New York Yankees putting up another banner in the Bronx. So give me the Yankees in 7 games. And this is your Major League Baseball quick hits for this week. And of course, guys, it's the Friday show, and you know what Friday is for. Friday is for football. That's right. We're going to go ahead and start with the college game. Week 8, 2 big upsets, which caused a ripple effect in the top 25. You had Penn State and Ohio State on the bye week. Oregon crushed Purdue, and Miami survived the Louisville. Another 300-yard game for Cam Ward, and another 50-burger put up by the Miami Hurricanes. The U might be back. Who knows? So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm 1-3 on the first time I did the quick hits picks. I'm 1-3 in those picks. Illinois beating Michigan. Felt dumb for that because Michigan played absolutely atrocious on the offense, especially in the quarterback play. And Georgia going to Texas and winning. Not only winning, but winning sensationally against the Texas Longhorns. But I was saved because Tennessee got it done against Alabama back home in Neyland Stadium. So we're going to go ahead and hit these highlights here. So Texas, they got to pay a hefty fine throwing that trash over that pass interference call. That's going to be rough. The school got to give up some money. And Duke gets a historic win against Florida State. Yeah, I know Florida State is hot garbage. I get it. But the Duke program for the longest time was hot garbage. And the tables have turned. I hate to talk about a Duke team winning anything since I'm a Carolina fan. But you know what? Got to give it to them because Florida State put themselves in that bind. So yes, and Michigan can't keep a quarterback. That's why Illinois bounced them on Saturday. And when it comes to the SEC, we don't know what the hell's going on. One day they'll win. One day another squad will win. One day another squad will lose. You got some 2-loss squads in there. You got some 1-loss squads in there. The SEC does not have an undefeated team in the conference for the first time in years. So it is different. It is different and difficult to watch. If you're an SEC fan, if your team is in the SEC, it's difficult to watch. So let's go ahead and get to this top 25 here. Oregon is your new number 1. Had the bye week, watch the dominoes fall, put them up to number 1. You got a new number 2 in Georgia. Georgia getting it done in Austin, making it happen. Texas goes down to number 5. And then welcome back to the top 10 with Tennessee going back to number 7. And welcome to the top 25 for Vanderbilt. Big time stuff in Tennessee. In the football world, very good job for the state of Tennessee. And unfortunately, with some of these new moves, you got some guys that are packing up and moving out. You got Alabama, who was in the top 10, going down to top 15. And then you've got Michigan, who was in the top 25. And unfortunately, they have been shown the door. So Michigan, newly unranked, and then newly ranked 15th Alabama. You ain't got to go home. but you got to get out of here. So let's go ahead and hit some picks. Now, this time around, I did something a little different. I was able to find more games because I went on the betting odds. I went on the betting. So they've got the games listed. Some of those games that are listed are high-profile games that you can bet on. But you know what? I ain't going to be betting. Ain't no betting. Ain't putting up no chips. Ain't putting up no money this time. We're going to do this for fun. We're going to do this for keepsies. We're going to make sure that we have a little fun with these. So I got some games. I got some real good games. We're going to start with the game on Friday, which is Boise State and UNLV. I got Boise State on the road winning it. Ashton Genty for Heisman. Go and get that man that Heisman trophy. He's been playing his tail off, and that's something for me to watch after I watch WWE SmackDown. So we'll go ahead and see Boise State put the SmackDown on UNLV. They've been having some legal trouble. They ain't paid their players. But UNLV is still a one-loss squad. Opportunity to get back in the top 25, but Boise State going to make sure that don't happen. And then you got Ohio State. Oh, they going to give it to Nebraska. They going to give it to them. Nebraska not playing their best football. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you win a big-time conference. And you got recruits being taken from you from the big guys like Ohio State. So Ohio State had a little time to think about it, had a little time to sit during that bye week after that loss in Eugene in close quarters. They were right there. So I think they're going to just go ahead and smack Nebraska out of anger. And then you got Notre Dame and Navy. I got Notre Dame over Navy. I hate it because I love to see Notre Dame fall again. They had a very tough loss to Northern Illinois. They've taken it out on everybody else after that. Navy has a good offense, very good passing game. They figured out the forward pass. As Aaron Schneider would say, host of the Gridiron Address. But this time around, the forward pass ain't going to be able to save them. I got Notre Dame winning that game. In Washington, I got them beating Indiana. Curtis Rourke is going to be out indefinitely with the thumb injury. That's going to be trouble for Indiana. I don't think they'll get past Washington. And then Ole Miss over Oklahoma. Ole Miss is going to rebound after losing in Death Valley to LSU. Oklahoma is about to go through a gauntlet in their schedule. They're going to see 4 ranked teams out of 5, and Ole Miss is the very first one. Ole Miss going to smack them. They're going to get them. And then Oregon over Illinois. I like Illinois. Illinois, it'd be great to see them take down the juggernauts. But I'm going to tell you what, it's hard to win in Eugene, Oregon. And Illinois is going to figure that out. You know, they've been hanging in there. They've been doing it ranked. I think this time around they're going to get smacked by the Oregon Ducks. And then BYU over Central Florida. This is funny. Central Florida is there. BYU is actually a 1-point favorite. 1 point to the 3-4 Central Florida squad. There's going to be a long flight for BYU, but I think they're going to get them. It'll be no problem for them. And then Bama over Mizzou. Now, I know Bama's had the skid. They've not played that well in the past few games. They should have lost to South Carolina. I believe that wholeheartedly. But I will say this. The losses that Bama has taken have been away from Tuscaloosa. They're in Tuscaloosa this week. So I take Bama over Mizzou. And then Texas over Vandy. No Vandy magic this time. Texas is not happy after losing to Georgia in the fashion that they lost. So I think they're going to smack Vandy around. Vandy going to only stay in the top 25 for 1 week. So that's what's going to happen there. And Penn State's going to be over Wisconsin. Now, this is the game. Now, this game right here was the game that made me think real hard. LSU and Texas A&M. Now, LSU and Death Valley. Tough. They're tough to beat in Death Valley. And Texas A&M, they're tough to beat in College Station. But I think LSU has got the firepower to do it. So give me the LSU Bayou Bengals over Texas A&M, over the Aggies in College Station. And then I got Kansas State over Kansas. And SMU is going to beat Duke. Duke's got a good defense. They've got a very, very good defense. Their coach is a defensive-minded coach. They had some stingy defense when they beat Florida State last week, but Florida State, they're not the Florida State that we're used to seeing. So go ahead and give me SMU over Duke. And these are my college football quick hits for this week. And of course, I can't forget the pro game because we got the NFL coming up. And the quick hits picks that I've got, I was 3-2 last week because I picked the Chiefs. No, I picked against the Chiefs. Sorry about that. Picked against the Chiefs. They beat up my 49ers. And I picked against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I went with the headlines this time instead of going with the logic. And the Jags won against the Patriots squad. And then I picked the Lions over the Vikings. Saw that coming. Saw the Steelers beating the Jets, even though I foolishly picked the Jets to win on the gridiron address. That was my fault. Sorry about that, Aaron. Sorry about that, Duke. Shouldn't have done that. And then I picked the Ravens to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night as they did. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the headlines, then go to my impressive and disappointments, and then on to the picks. So we got Pat Mahomes leads the league in interceptions. He's tied for league lead in interceptions, still undefeated. Still undefeated. That Mahomes magic. Nah, it's not magic, it's skill. That man can play. And then Doug Peterson, his job is safe for now. And Saquon Barkley gives new meaning to the phrase, revenge is a dish that is best served cold. And in Pittsburgh, in Russ, we trust. And the Jets got rained on, the nice little reunion that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams was supposed to have. Unfortunately, that did not happen as the Steelers took out the Jets. And the Ravens and the Bucks, man, what a shootout. It was great. Great game Monday night for that doubleheader. Hassan Riddick ends the holdout finally. He's going to report to work. And my 49ers, unfortunately, are a mess unit. Brandon Ayuk out for the season. Debo in the hospital with pneumonia. I tell you what, it's rough. Being a 49er fan right now, it's rough. But faithful, we got to get there. We got to get behind our guys because we got them boys this week. And I know MD and MD Jr. are going to give it to me for what I've been doing to them this whole season. They've been waiting for this game, and I get it. So we're going to see. And Jaden Daniels is hurt. He's day-to-day with the rib injury. Get well soon, my man. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be back in practice and he's eyeing a start this coming Sunday. And Deshaun Watson is out for the season, unfortunately, a ruptured Achilles tendon. I'm going to get back to those thoughts right here. I'm going to go ahead and get my impressives and my disappointments for this week. So let's go ahead and get with these disappointments. My disappointing player, Alvin Kamara. My man, 6 catches, only 14 yards and 7 carries and only 10 yards. That offense did not do well. I know that Derek Carr is not here and Spencer Rattler is learning on the job as a rookie quarterback. But good Lord have mercy. It was rough watching that. It was rough watching it. Kamara's on my fantasy team. Ouch. I took an L because of that. But that's not the reason why I put in there because, you know, those numbers, he's been putting up numbers all year. Been playing very, very well on that offense. This time around, not so much. And my disappointing team is the home team, the Carolina Panthers. And the reason they are disappointing to me is because they put up less than 100 yards passing. They put up less than 100 yards rushing. Poor Chuba. I'm not talking to you, my friend. I'm not talking to you, Chuba. You ran your tail off. You did everything you could, and you got the lone score, and you've been the one doing it for the Panthers this year. Pay that man that money if he's going to take the beating that he's going to take, Carolina. You better pay that man. because he's ran his tail off. He's been the only automatic offense that the Panthers have gotten this year. Sorry about that. So yes, and not only that, Marcus Mariota, the understudy, put up 2 touchdowns on the defense. The defense has been atrocious. Get out of the 3-4. Evero is probably going to lose his job, and it's not his fault. So that is disheartening for my Panther fans in there in the Carolinas. And then my most impressive player and team. My impressive player, of course, I had some honorable mentions. Jahmyr Gibbs was one of them. Jared Goff was one of them. Russ was one of them. But I got to give it to Lamar Jackson. 5 touchdowns. And at one point in time, the Ravens were down 10-0. Orchestrated the plays. He's played well at quarterback. Looks like another MVP or maybe Offensive Player of the Year. Because I think that the MVP should be Jared Goff right now, if you want to be honest. And my impressive team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, reigning on, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, raining on him as he got the win. Russ was, we said on the Gridiron Address, Chris DeLuca and myself both said on the Gridiron Address that Russ should not be in. They should stick with Justin Fields because they've been winning. But Russ was able to pick apart a Jets team that has no chemistry. They've not done well. No chemistry whatsoever. No leadership in the locker room. Aaron Rodgers is running the squad. Look what's going on. So, yeah, it's not good for the Jets' neighborhood. And now back to the Cleveland Browns. Now, Deshaun Watson got hurt. And there were cheers coming from the Cleveland Browns fans. Now, listen, here on Quick Hits, I will never cheer. Never cheer for a player to get injured. I don't care who it is. I don't care how big of a slime ball they are. I don't care how big of a hero they are. You don't cheer for guys getting hurt. That's just me. However, I get why the fans cheered when he got hurt. I get it. I understand. Deshaun Watson has not played up to his contract. He's hurt all the time. He's not done well. As a matter of fact, this season, when he's played, it's not been good. I understand why. But I'm here to tell you right now, the blame of that is on you, the organization. The organization went for this man when he was having legal trouble, physical ailments, character issues. And you paid hand over fist. You paid that man some money. Money. Sent picks over to Houston. Houston retooled with picks. And look what Houston is doing. Houston is going for an AFC South championship yet again. They're going for the division. They're trying to win the division yet again. And they more than likely will. And what are you doing, Cleveland? Watching. You're watching the playoffs. You're not in the playoffs. You're not going for a division title. You're not doing that. You put all this stock in one player, and that one player can't stay healthy, and that player's got some issues mentally. He's got some issues going on. So, hey, Cleveland, that's what you get for being thirsty. You got to think. And then poor Baker, he saw the writing on the wall, and we didn't. So good for Baker. Glad he's doing well. So, yeah. So, Browns, I have empathy, but no sympathy. You get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. Now let's go ahead and go to these picks. Y'all like that, didn't you? So, I got the Eagles over the Bengals. Joe's line is letting them down yet again. Then I got the Ravens over the Browns. No Jameis magic. For the Ravens on a short week, still going to be fine against this Browns team. I got the Lions over the Titans. Jared Goff, my opinion, should be in the running for MVP this year. He's doing well with this Lions squad. They've got a very, very explosive offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery will probably be back. That offense is got synergy. Dan Campbell is a great coach. They're loving him over there. So let's go with the Lions. The Cardinals, I got them over the Dolphins, whether Tua's playing or not. The Cardinals are playing good offensive football. And the Dolphins have been on the decline since Tua's been gone. And the Jets, I got them over the Patriots. Even though the Jets have no chemistry and Drake May is on fire, throwing close to 500 yards and 5 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Incredible stats being put up. But like Gerard Mayo said about his squad, they are S-A-F-T, soft. Yes, exactly. And I got the Bucks over the Falcons. They're going to pay the Falcons back for the Falcons beating them on Matty Ice Night and Kurt Cochains beating them down. They're going to pay him back for that. So, yes, I got the Pack over the Jags. Jordan Love is on fire. I got the Texans over the Colts. And the Colts, please start Joe Flacco. The man was balling. Andy Richardson needs a little bit of time to simmer. He needs time to bubble. So he's got to do it. So the Chargers, I got them over the Saints. Saints in the decline. I've got the Bills over the Seahawks. The Bills are playing some good football with the Amari Cooper acquisition. So, yes, the acquisition. Sorry about that. And the Broncos over the Panthers, sadly. I don't like what the Broncos did to Russ, and I don't like them as a team after what happened, but they're going to take out the squad I cover, the Panthers. Sad to hear. Got the Chiefs over the Raiders. Got the Commanders over the Bears. Even if Jaden Daniels is not playing, I think that Washington has got a winning mentality. I think that they do. I think Mariota can do it. The Bears will have to play good defense in order to do so, and I think they can. But the offense has got to get the timing down. They got to get it down. They got to get it going, which the NFC South is a gauntlet of a conference anyway, like I thought they would be. So, yes, but give me the Commanders over the Bears. Even though my guys are a mash unit, we still got some playmakers. Yes, we still have playmakers out there. But give me my 49ers over them boys. Their defense is weak. Their offense has no running game. We can make it an ugly game and beat them. So 49ers, do that for me. If not, I'm going to be the subject of that and the boys, and I don't want that. Please, do it for me, San Francisco. Do it for me. And then the Steelers over the Giants. And that is your NFL quick hits for this week. Enjoy the football. We'll be back next Friday. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. That is Quick Hits for the week. We're done for the week. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hopefully you enjoyed the World Series talk, enjoyed the football. Hope you enjoyed every bit of the show on Tuesday when we talked NHL, when we talked baseball, when we talked the WNBA. Hopefully you enjoyed all of that this week. Want to say special thanks to Aaron Schneider allowing me to be on his show, The Gridiron Address, on Sunday. Make sure you watch that this coming Sunday, as it's the gap between the afternoon games and Sunday night football. So make sure that you watch that live show. It's a fun live show. Aaron does a great job with it. It's his show that he runs on his own. Go ahead and watch that show. Very good football talk that we have. He allowed me on the show with the Duke, Chris DeLuca, and I appreciate him for that. Also, a shout out to Mouthing Off with Mike. I was on the Monday night cap with him for Monday Night Raw. I appreciate that, man. He helped me out with a solo podcast, gave me the confidence to do it, helped me with the editing. I appreciate that, man, for what he's done. Also, for him getting on my show, talking a little bit of baseball. I appreciate you being on there. Mike's a heck of a dude. The Don, I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you so much. And also Chris DeLuca for being on the show as well, too. I told you I'd get you on there, man, talking baseball. And make sure you watch the Dugout Debrief on Thursdays at 12 o'clock. Chris DeLuca does a great job of talking baseball. That's what he does. He's the only baseball-centric podcast on Boom Broadcasting. He does great stuff. He talks a little football as well, too. So yeah, catch him and Aaron on their Instagram where they're doing their football picks. And Chris DeLuca, yeah, you're all right with me, man. I appreciate you, Duke. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Check his TikTok as well, too. Follow him on TikTok as well. I like his TikToks. He talks sports, but he also talks a little bit about life. Good dude, Chris DeLuca is. Thank you guys so much. And Jason Colenzo, thank you, my man, for being on the show Tuesday. And thank you for being in the inbox on Facebook, man. We've been talking back and forth. And he's a good dude. New York, New York. He's got some stuff coming up as well, too. So hopefully you watch him. Keep on watching it. Fellas, I want to thank those three. I want to thank everybody on Boom Broadcasting. You guys keep me sane. This is good mental health. This is great release therapy. Getting to talk sports with these guys and getting to converse as men. So I appreciate what y'all do for me. Y'all help me out in this crazy world that we live in. Hopefully we're giving you an outlet from your craziness in your world. Hopefully we do that. Hopefully I do that here on Quick Hits. Give you a little fun, give you some sports, a little bit of comic relief. Thank you guys for watching. But with all that being said, that is my time for this week. Enjoy the football, the baseball, the basketball. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it half as much as I enjoyed being here because, man, I had a ball. Thank you guys so much. I'm Shannon Smith, and this is Quick Hits.